Good evening. Good evening, all kinfolks. Good evening, all IABT, all members and friends, all guests and them. Welcome. My name is Jeremy Gordon, and I'm coming at you with another episode of the Training Corner. What I want to talk about today is the Lifetime Fitness Indoor Triathlon. The Lifetime Fitness Indoor Triathlon was a race I did about 2 weeks ago on January the 4th, 2015. A lot of you did it too. I wanted to talk about how the race went for me and a couple of things that I learned and a couple of lessons that I remember that I'm sharing with you. That these are memories that you might be able to remember on your own. These are things that you might be able to take with you as you do your tries and your training this upcoming season. Alright, so for me, the Lifetime Fitness Indoor Triathlon was in Plano, Texas. So that was about 30 minutes from where I was staying at that time, and to use the opportunity to gather all my things together as if I were getting ready for an actual try. I took my transition bag out there, I took all the things that were in it that we talked about in the What's in My Bag episode, which is episode number 1, and I took everything out there. I got there about maybe 30 minutes before the race was to begin, so I could figure out where I needed to go, I could figure out where everything is, figure out where the pool is, where the biking studio was, the cycling or spin studio, and then where the treadmills were upstairs. This was a lot different for me. I've never done an indoor triathlon before. I've done some sprint triathlons, I've done a couple of Olympic triathlons, but I've never done an indoor triathlon before. So, in the Lifetime Fitness Indoor Tri, you swim indoors in a lap pool for as far as you can in 10 minutes. And then you go to the spin studio, you spin cycle for as far as you can in 30 minutes. And then you go to the treadmills upstairs and you run on the treadmills as fast and far as you can in 20 minutes. So, the first lesson that I want you guys to know is to run your own race. Run your own race, kinfolk. I'm saying it one more time. Run your own race. So, as we did the swim, once we got finished with the swim, going back and forth, as many lengths as you could go, then when you got to the end, the person would tell how many lengths you did. You could walk up to the person who was counting your lengths and ask them, how many lengths did I do? Later on in the race, during the run portion, on the treadmill, the person that was officiating for the run started saying, so-and-so's in first place with this many lengths in the pool, so-and-so's in second place with this many lengths, and so on and so forth. That was at mine. It might have been different at yours, that's how mine was. Turns out that I was in 4th place in my heat. Someone did 25 or 26 lengths. I had done 15 lengths. At that point, I actually kind of wanted to turn it up a little bit. I was going 6 miles per hour on a treadmill, and I had a little bit of an urge to turn it up to 8 or 9 or 10. But the truth is, I can't run that fast. And that would have left me hollering and sick and wheezing and unable to finish the run. So instead of doing that, I kept the pace that I was doing, and I ran my own race. No matter what happens, kinfolk, when you're out there on the course, you see somebody zoom past you, or on the bike, or on the run, and they run past you, or you see folks swimming, and they swim past you. Don't worry about any of that. Run your own race. Trust your own training. Don't do what anybody else is doing. The second thing that happened, and the second piece of advice that I remember, and that I want for you to know, is to know the course. So we got done with the swim. We had a 10-minute transition period for the bike. We go into the spinning studio for the bike, and I get on this bike. I had my clips with me, so I'm riding my bike and I'm using my clips. Now, I don't really use spin bikes all that often, but apparently they have a little knob on them that determines the resistance, and by increasing the resistance, if you keep the same RPM, then that's going to cause you to go faster. Nobody told me this. I did not know this, and I'm sitting there on the spin bike, and I'm pumping and I'm pumping and I'm pumping, and Keisha is over there hollering at me, and I'm pumping and I'm pumping and I'm pumping, and it wouldn't go any more than like 8, 9, 10 miles per hour. And I'm like, what is this? What is the problem? So at the final 90 seconds of the race, I realized that if I turn the knob, the little resistance knob up, then that allows my speed to go up, and it gives you a higher miles per hour, whatever. I finally realized this 90 seconds before it's over. So I've gone 28 minutes and 30 seconds without realizing this. And I suffered for it. I had a much lower miles per hour than I would have if I had realized this at the first of the race. So, my second piece of advice, kinfolk, is know what is expected of you on the course. Now, a lot of times when you're doing a triathlon, they give you some race packet with information on it. I never read the packet. Kinfolk, read the packet. Don't be like me. Read the packet. If there's elevation charts in there, then read that. So the direction of how to get in a transition, how to get out of transition, read that. If there's an aid station on the course, read that. Ask somebody. Know the course. Know what is expected of you on the course. If I'd have known what was expected on that little resistance knob on the bike, then I would have turned it up, and I would have had a much faster time, and I would have had much more points scored on that part of the race. So know what is expected of you, kinfolk. This is important.
Okay, we're going into transition.
Follow you?
And I'm following Jeremy. He's gonna hate me because I'm putting this on Facebook. Yes. How you feeling, dear?
So far, so good. I didn't realize that you got to turn a little thing to the right in order to go faster, so it would increase the resistance. But other than that, I'm feeling good. I'm gonna give you some water and then I'm gonna go up to the thing.
Awesome.
All right, kinfolk, the third thing that I want you to know is to finish strong. So we get out of the cycling studio and we walk over to the treadmill, which upstairs. I turn on the treadmill and I know what my normal pace is. I know when I'm normally doing a 5K or I'm doing a half marathon, I know what those paces are. But since we only had 20 minutes on a treadmill, and because I was supposed to go as fast as I could, then it was important for me to finish strong. I started off at my normal pace, and I moved the pace up incrementally as we got closer to the end of the treadmill portion. So when you're doing a race, and first off, we know to save some energy for the run. You don't necessarily want to go all out on the cycle because you still have some sort of run in a triathlon that you have to do afterwards. So you want to save something for the run. Now, when you get to the run and you get to the end of it, then it's somewhat important to finish strong if you can. If you have the energy, and if you're close to the finish line, you can see the finish line in front of you, you have the energy saved up, then it's important to finish strong. You don't want to go too far out on the very first of the run, because if you go all out on the first of the run, then you could bump and not be able to finish strong at the end. If you see the finish line and you're able to finish strong, then by all means, do so. Strike a pose, look up for the camera, whatever it is that you want to do. So, I did a pretty decent job. I scored in the middle of the pack for the Lifetime Fitness Indoor Tri, and I actually won entry to the Captrex Tri, which is in Austin later on this year, which is one of my B races for later on in the year. So I'm very excited. Overall, I'm pleased with our performance in the Lifetime Fitness Indoor Tri. I would have liked to have done a little bit better, especially on the cycle, but I learned a lot of valuable lessons. I have some lessons that I'm sharing with you, and I'll keep on pressing on. I just got an email saying that there might be more indoor tries as we get closer to racing season, and if there are, and I'll share them with you, I'll definitely be out there doing them as long as I can get them into my schedule. Okay, kinfolk, that's all for this week's Training Corner. I'm Jeremy. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. If you have any advice, if you have any tips, if you have anything that you want to say, go ahead and leave them in the comments, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.